My name is Jennifer and welcome to Toxic Pages and Coffee. This is my very first video, my intro video. So welcome. Today we're going to be discussing my favorite genres, my favorite authors, and also going to be doing a review on my favorite book. Well, one of my favorite books, because it is 100% hard to tell you what my favorite book is. So I have too many. But first, I want to get started and let you all know that I really appreciate you all clicking on my page. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and just thank you for being here. So let's get started and let me tell you what my favorite genre is. My favorite genre right now is reverse harem, because that could be subject to change at any point in time. But for right now, it's reverse harem. I started off doing this genre or reading this genre as a mistake. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on. Sorry if you hear horns. I started off reading this genre as a mistake. I clicked on a book that sounded interesting. I have a real obsession with like paranormal books or paranormal anything actually, because I love vampires. I have a real thing for vampires. So it was a paranormal book and I clicked on it and it gave me a description and I kind of breezed through it, you know, not really paying attention to the synopsis, and I breezed through it, clicked on the book, started reading, and then I noticed some weird stuff going on and I was like, what in the world is happening? These are high school kids. Why is she sleeping with all these people? And no judgment, but I was just confused. So reading further along and I was like, okay. And you know, went back to the cover and I was like, what is the name of this book? And it was called Wicked Gods by Michelle Hercules. And I was like, okay. So by the time I got through with the first book, I was absolutely hooked. And I think it's 5 books in the series, or 5 or 6 books in the series. And let me tell you, by the time I got through with that series, I was already, you know, typing in reverse harem books into the search, trying to find my next book, trying to find my next series. Like, okay, I need more reverse harems, because first of all, I need to build me a harem. Where is my harem? So that's how I got started on reverse harems. It was an absolute accident, and I'm so glad that I stumbled upon it, because the level of reverse harems went from like a level 2 with her book to all the way down to like, oh my goodness, the level of toxicness. Is that a word? If it's not, I just made it up. The level of toxicness is like through the roof. And that right there makes me so happy, because I love toxic, aggressive energy. Love it. Yes, I have a thing for toxic, aggressive male characters. I don't care, judge me if you like, but a serious, toxic, aggressive male character, give them to me. And I think that's why before I started reading reverse harems, I was so obsessed with bully romance, because it was just like, it was the toxicness was in there too. It was just like, oh, you're bullying her, oh, you're mean to her, okay, I love that. And I was just like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's just like, you're a bully and then you're nice, but you're still very mean, and you're, you know, even though you turn nice to her and you're a sweetheart, you still are very aggressive. And then especially when they're describing them as like being a bad boy with all the tattoos and very angry and just whoo. Anyway, off subject here. Going back to reverse harems. Yes, I love all the toxic, hard, aggressive energy that every single reverse harem seems to have. No matter how they describe it, it's always one over aggressive alpha male in the harem, and that I absolutely love it. And sometimes it's like 2 of them and they butt heads, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, can I have you both? And so there are a couple books where I'll be like, oh my God, I just love them. And it's just like, if I was to build my own harem and I took all of the alphas out of there. My harem, first of all, they would clash. They all would clash. And now every time I think about building my own harem with all of the characters that I've read about, I'm like, it would not work, because I would take each and every one of them and I would look at them all and be like, yeah, y'all would not get along, because I want the most aggressive, toxic ones, and they would kill each other. They would not get along at all. So my harem wouldn't work out, but you know, a girl could dream, right? So anyway, so yes, that's how I got started with Reverse Harem. So thank you to Michelle Hercules for writing that book, and thank you to, you know, whoever led me down. Thank you to Kindle. Thank you to Amazon for recommending that book. I don't know what bully romance I was reading while they were like, here, just read this next. Like, thank you, because I appreciate it. So anywho, let's move on to authors that I love. And this is one that's very important, because I want you all to remember this. There are certain authors who I have went down their whole entire list of books they have written, and I have read every single one of their books. There are several of them, and I love their work. Eva Ashwood is one. I love every single book that she has written. She's gotten a lot of flack from a lot of people that I see on her reviews, and you know, some people don't like the way she writes. Me, on the other hand, I love Eva. Apparent, you know, that's apparent because I've read every single book that she has ever written. So you will see a lot of her books on here, because I'm not just gonna, you know, review and, you know, talk about reverse harem books, because that, you know, a lot of people aren't into reverse harems, and I understand that. I don't only read reverse harems. I read other books, clearly. You know, I'm talking about Eva here. So, you know, I want people to understand, you are going to see a lot of the same authors here, because I read a lot of their books. They're, you know, I went down their list. So you're going to see a lot of Eva on here, because like I said, I went down her list and I read a lot of her books. But I am going to mix it up. I'm not just going to go week to week to week talking about, oh, here's another Eva book. Here's another, you know, I'm going to mix it up there. So just bear with me. If you hear me talking about her a lot, it's because she's amazing and I love her. Another person who books I have read, I haven't read every one of them. I think I'm like only 6 short though. I'm only 6 books short of hers, and I'm gonna finish those very soon. Is LJ Sheen. I adore LJ. Like I said, I'm only short 6 of her books, and I have them written down to finish reading. So you can pretty much say I've read all of her books except for 6, and literally I have them written down to finish. But my favorite series of hers is the All Saints High. I'm sorry, Sinners of Saints. I'm sorry, Sinners of Saints books. All Saints High as the kids. Sinners of Saints. Oh my goodness. Vicious and oh, it's the books. My goodness gracious. I cannot. It's, I don't know if it, yeah, is it coming in clear? This Vicious. Let me tell you something. And this is not reverse harem, and that's another thing that you all need to understand. This series is not reverse harem. This is just, I don't even know if I could consider this bully romance. Vicious book was bully romance because he was an ass. So his might be considered bully romance, but Vicious, that book right there, oh my goodness gracious. That book was amazing. The book, so it's so the Sinners of Saints book is about the parents, and then she wrote the books for the kids too. And the kids' books were amazing. Broken Night, that book made me cry. Yes, LJ had me crying. So I will be reviewing LJ's books. Eva, there, L. Thorpe. I mean, there are a lot of authors that I absolutely love. So it, like I said, it's not just gonna be reverse harem on my page. It's just not. But we will be talking about a lot of reverse harems, and we will be going through a lot of the books. I also read banned books. And there are a couple books that, you know, people might find triggering. And that's another thing I want to talk about. There are a lot of books that I read that have warnings on them at the beginning, and there are serious warnings. So I will, you know, let you all know in the beginning of the video if there was a warning on the book, and, you know, let you all know, hey, this has a warning for this, that, and the third. So watch at your own risk. But, you know, for me, the banned books that I read, they are pretty out there, and they have, you know, pretty insane, you know, it's an insane book. It's banned for a reason. I'll be reviewing those too, because I read it, I liked it, and, you know, no, hey, if you don't want to hear about it, you don't want to read it, or you don't, you know, don't watch my video. Plain and simple. I'll let you all know in the beginning, this is what this book is about. It's banned. It had a nice big huge warning. So if you don't want to hear about it, don't watch this video. I don't need the bad comments down below like, oh my God, I can't believe. Hey, I warned you. You know, I did warn you. So, you know, Seven Rue, she is one of the banned authors that I read, and her books are really, really out there. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Seven Rue, and I read her books. So just letting you all know, I will, you know, down the line be reviewing her books. So that's another thing to think about. Like I said, a lot of the books that I read have huge triggers and huge warnings, but I will, you know, at the beginning of the video say, hey, this book has a trigger, you know, just letting you know. So another thing about spoilers, I will, for older books, I'm gonna go deep into, you know, reviews and let you all know, hey, this is a deep review because it's, you know, such an older book. I'm sure people have read this and all that. For new books, I probably won't dive too deep into the review, just for the simple fact that I don't want to give out spoilers. But if I do, I'll of course let you all know at the beginning of the review, hey, this is, you know, a spoiler. You know, it's, you know, just like normal YouTubers do, just let you all know it's a spoiler in here. But I'll try not to dive too deep into a new book, and, you know, just give you a warning. Hello, I just said that, repeating myself here, ignore me. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now let's get into the review of my favorite book. And it's honestly a book that quite literally saved my life. And I was going through something, and this book I read all day long. I would read all 5 books. I'm sorry, is it 5? Am I crazy? You wouldn't be able to tell because I'm thinking about the movies. It's 4 books, correct? Yeah, 4 books. I'm losing my mind here. I'm thinking about the movie. Sorry guys. It's 4 books. I used to read all 4 books and then go right back to the first one. And these weren't short books either. And that's another thing with me. I can read a 600-700 page book in a matter of hours. I'm a super fast reader, and not because I skip over lines, skip over paragraphs. No, it's for the simple fact that I get lost inside of the world of the book, and I just go with it. So I'm a super fast reader. But for this one, I used to literally, like I said, finish the book and then immediately go back to the first one and start all over again. And that's how much I love this book. So I'm talking about Twilight, of course. Twilight. This is my absolute favorite book. I have so many copies of Twilight, so many. It's ridiculous. It's on my iPad. I have a whole shelf upstairs in my room with the black box set, the white box set. I have single copies like this upstairs, where these are the ones that I actually were gonna read, but I never actually read them. So I have a million copies of Twilight. Again, it's on my iPad, it's on my phone. I have a million copies of Twilight just in case I want to read them again. I do go back and read them just because, like I said, I love Twilight. And Edward was toxic. He was toxic. He was actually a toxic stalker, if you want to be honest. But I love Edward. I love Edward. I love Twilight. This is the book that quite honestly saved my life. Saved me from diving deeper into the depression that I already was in. So, the reason why I called Edward a toxic stalker, because standing in someone's room while they're sleeping and just watching them sleep is a creepy stalker. Edward was a stalker. He definitely was he definitely was a stalker in real life. But we're gonna go ahead and let Edward slide on that one. He definitely was he was toxic though, with his him not wanting Bella around Jacob, and kept saying Jacob wasn't safe when Jacob he proved to be safe. He was actually safer than Edward. If you really want to think about it, he was safer than Edward. Like, at least he wasn't after Bella's blood. He could actually breathe around Bella without wanting to kill her. So who wasn't safe to be around Bella? I honestly think it was Edward. But okay, Edward. But yes, Edward was definitely a toxic stalker. But, you know, Bella loved him. But yes, Twilight was definitely a toxic love story. It ended beautiful, but definitely was toxic. And Edward for sure was controlling. He was controlling right up to the end. I'm sorry, but he was. I love him though. I wanted her. I was team Edward all the way, no doubt about it. Team Edward. But for sure, he was a very toxic man. He did not want Bella to be around anybody but him. The stalking her at night, sitting in her room, I think he did that more so for the fact that he wasn't just watching her sleep. He was making sure that Jacob didn't show up. So get the hell out of here with the fact that, oh, I just like watching you sleep. Sir, yeah, okay, if you say so, sir. But you just making sure Jacob don't climb in this window, because Jacob wanted to see her. And the fact that he broke up with her and then like went to a whole different country, knowing that she was gonna sit there broken and waiting for him to come back because he knew the effect that he had on her. Edward was toxic. He was so toxic. But again, it all worked out at the end. So, and I guess how obsessed and how much I loved Edward, that again shows you how much I love toxic male characters, because I would be like, oh, I want Edward to climb through my window. Where's my damn vampire at? And this is another reason why I am so obsessed with vampires. Like, I love vampires so much. So yes, Twilight is one of my absolute favorite books. I am so utterly obsessed with Twilight. I could read this all day long, watch the movies all day long. I actually do watch the movies all day long. That's another thing. I used to finish reading the books and immediately go turn on the movies and fall asleep to the movies. It's just, Twilight is my everything, and it will always be my everything, along with Harry Potter. But Harry Potter will be a throwback video that we talk about, because I, again, am obsessed with those two things. So Twilight and Harry Potter. Twilight, Harry Potter. I have them tattooed on me. So yes, I am utterly obsessed with Twilight and Harry Potter. But I think that was all for today. I got my, I introduced myself, we had a good time, and I talked about my baby. And I also let you in on a couple of my favorite authors. And yeah. So that's what to expect from my glasses don't you guys hate having glasses and your face is oily because they keep sliding down? Like, where are you going? Rant. Okay. Anywho, so you all got to know me a little bit and what to expect from my channel. Hopefully you all are as excited as I am to start these videos and to dive right into it. But again, I'm going to ease you all into my toxic side, and trust me, once we get there and once you all see exactly what I love and my toxic characters, and I can't wait to introduce you all to my favorite toxic character. Oh, he is just on another level of toxic. I can't wait to introduce you all to him, and once I do, you will see why I love him so much. I have so many toxic babies to introduce you all to, and I am so excited to get you all to that level of toxic with me, and maybe you all can start loving that toxic aggressive male energy that I love so much. So I can't wait to get started. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for joining me today, and you all have a great day, and remember to stay toxic. Okay, bye.